Hello, Todd.
Howdy.
How are you? Good?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
How's that
Working
new
out.
hire, Robert Baxter, working out?
It's going well, soon to be finalized.
All right.
I heard that you were there, huh? Some time ago, not a week ago or something.
Yeah, like not last week, but the week before.
Oh, okay. So how is the preparation?
Doing very well. You know, every other week I'm setting a PR, but I'm doing a lot more work capacity, endurance type stuff. So hopefully the recovery comes on
Every other day a PR, new PR. Wow.
every other week.
Every other week, yeah, sorry.
It's
Yeah.
about 50%. Sometimes I go 2 or 3 weeks without setting one, but then I'll set one 3 weeks in a row. So, but it's about 50%.
Sometimes you break the record by 50%?
No. 50% of the time I break a record, but
Ah,
it's not
okay,
always
okay,
every
okay.
other one. You
Okay.
know, if I look back at and I'll set 6 records in 12 weeks. That's what I mean.
I don't know how is this possible. If you were like 18 years old, and then I understand you're doing that, but you are a little older. What's that, 23? What are you?
I've been 23 twice, and
23
then
to like
another 12.
11 and a half? Yeah, that's great. Why do you think that that's happening? Because you discover more about arm wrestling, and then that is how you can still improve by being healthier, or just do like you find the ways to get stronger.
Yeah, well, I'm getting stronger in the same way I always have. I got a pretty good program that I didn't invent, but
Mm-hmm.
mainly I stay pretty healthy. I mean, I've had very few injuries. So,
Mm-hmm.
injuries will usually
Mm-hmm.
knock people out for 6 months, but that 6 months sometimes turns into a year. And that's really
Yeah.
hard to bounce back. I've only had really two injuries, and I was fully recovered from both of them within 6 months,
Do
So
you think that the one of the reason that you don't get injured often because you already feel the pressure during the training, maybe even more than the pressure that you feel at the competition?
that could be it. I mean, if you're lifting as much as you possibly can lift, you probably never do that in a match because you can only lift as much as the other guy can push
Mm-hmm.
on you. So that could be. I mean, Louis Simmons says weak things break. So if you're strong, things don't break. you
Yeah,
know?
that is, yeah, but still, it depends, because everyone has a limit. You may be strong, but sometimes the strong things break even more terribly, because
Yeah,
of just like pushing something that is more than it can handle, and then it breaks.
it is.
Usually
But
they say that if you are not flexible, you get break.
yeah, I mean that makes sense. I'm not very flexible. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
know.
flexible,
I know.
but
Yeah.
I mean, arm wrestlers have pretty common injuries, right? Bicep tendons, shoulders, labrums, wrist issues. So you
Yeah.
don't have to, train everything doesn't have to be strong. Your wrist, shoulders, and elbows have to be strong.
Especially elbow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to handle, it needs to handle. I mean, sometimes you may lose your wrist, can still win. But if your elbow, I don't know. I usually suffer from the elbow. But like some of the elbow injuries, you are older than me, but I think I have been involved in arm wrestling near 10 years earlier than you.
And
And
yeah.
and like at the beginning you experience inner elbow issues, but the outside of the elbow usually comes with the muscular imbalance, because of years of this, and nothing goes back, this tendon here, while
Mhm.
you put pressure here, and this side becomes weak. And usually I like this was earlier, this was later, and the latest is probably the shoulder. I don't know if you ever experienced, but John experienced as the latest, I think, the shoulder issue.
I haven't, but I train all those reverse moves, so I keep everything balanced. I specifically train them.
That's why you don't get injured.
Yeah.
And also your movement is the one of the hardest one on the elbow, side pressure. But do you think that like you can handle all that pressure only because of the way that you are training, or you think that you are also genetically strong on the joint?
First, I think I'm conditioned to it, so I'm used to it. So it's probably a base level of strength, and it's hard on my elbow, but it's hard on their elbow too, and they're not used to it. So in that case, I have an advantage because I go, I've been here. I'm here every week. You're here, once every 5 years when we arm wrestle each other, Rustom.
You're right. Yeah, the reason I injured because I was pulling even so many like heavier guys, and and I was pushing the limits so much. But your side pressure is painful to handle. I tried to get Kanai as well. I don't have direct communication with Kanai, but through a friend of him, and I asked him, but I am 7 hours ahead of you, and he's probably 6 hours ahead of me. So there's 13 hours. Also, it is hard to find Japanese translator. And I asked him, it is easier to find English speaking guy in Japan than finding Japanese guy in my country. You understand? But I asked them if they have English, and it took a long time. So the tournament time came, and so I had to do the podcast with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope. I'm still looking, but I think I will find someone who can translate at least at the podcast, not podcast, the press conference. Yeah. So where do you see, since you say that you are breaking PR, records, does it mean that we will see the best of you?
I would hope so. I mean, I hope everybody's improving. I mean, I hope nobody's showing up going, "Oh, I'm so much weaker than I was 3 months ago." It all comes down to.
Go ahead.
It's as long as what you're training is how you arm wrestle. A lot of arm wrestlers train in a style they don't compete in. So I'm not sure that helps them.
Yeah. It is very, very hard for many people to be in the same shape all the time when you somehow you're doing. You remember the my idea about you are doing very good 2 matches, and usually in the third match you are struggling, but since you are breaking the PRs right now, it must not be the case. Or do you even agree in the earlier events that there was
no? I still agree with what you said. I do real bad if the match is in January or February, because for me, November, December, and January are very hard to train because I travel a lot with family, with work. The end of the year is really tough for me on work. In America, we stack all these holidays on top of each other. So I'm traveling, and my family lives a long ways away from each other. So January and February are really, I usually do bad in those events because I've only had, I've had half as much good training as I've normally did. Usually about March to November, I can probably maintain the same high level, but between November, so let's say, so December to February, I'm not very competitive.
You have 2 losses at the East West. One was in summer, I think, against Prudnik, but the other one was in the winter against Tarikian, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And losing to Prudnik, that I would have lost that match no matter when you had it. He was just way better than me.
Okay.
When the whole unedited match takes 3 minutes, I got beat pretty bad.
But there was the only way to beat you, anyways. Yeah, the match had to finish quick. The question: Was Prudnik in the last match you had against him in the same shape as the first one? And if yes, so it means that you were much stronger in the second time, or both, or
He
both.
wasn't anywhere near when I pulled him the last time. The last time I pulled him, remember, I think he was 240 or 250 pounds. It was quite a bit bigger. No,
you both weigh in 107 kilo.
Okay, well, 100. Are you sure? Because I think he weighed more than
Yeah.
Anyways,
No.
in
No,
Florida.
sorry. When I said both 107, the limit was 107. I'm not saying you were 107. Yeah. He was 107, but you were probably 220 or something.
Yeah. And I'm the same size, but the Prudnik in Florida would have lost to the Prudnik that beat me.
But how about the Prudnik that beat you against you that beat Prudnik? Would be a good one?
That would be close, I think. That would be yeah, because these guys like Prudnik, these high level world class guys, you sometimes have to pull them 3 or 4 times before you figure out what works. You know, so if I were to pull the strong Prudnik now, I'm not saying it would go the same way, but I would feel a lot more confident now. You know.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Kanai. The Sunday, I think it was Sunday night over here. I talked with Neil, and Neil thinks that if Kanai somehow could bring his prime shape, he said that Neil would see him as the favorites. And that was because a lot of people don't know about Kanai, while Neil organized events, at Armors for Kanai. So he's very knowledgeable, but it was surprising him to say that. He didn't say like a big favorite, but like a barely favorite. What do you think about this? Do you think that Besto Kanai would be dangerous opponent for you?
Yeah, I think the best Kanai, the Kanai that was beating Bresnan and Ron Bath, Michael Todd, a young Michael Todd, a small Michael Todd, and a younger, better John. That Kanai would be a favorite against me. Especially if I pulled Kanai like all those other folks. I've seen Kanai. I watched so many of his videos that if you let him if he gets his wrist high to where he can get his shoulder in, he doesn't hardly ever lose. So I don't plan to let him get his shoulder in. I mean, I might not even test his side pressure unless I'm up 2-0. I'm not even going to test his side pressure.
Well, what do you mean? Like you are also side pressing, but like what do you mean you are not going to test his side pressure? Like you're going to finish him quick? You mean?
I don't know if it's quick or I don't know whether I'm going to try to finish everybody quick. But I want his arm coming across the pads with his hand more in the center of the table, with me doing more back pressure rather than like Michael Todd, Tim Bresnan, and Ron Bath kept hitting him sideways, trying to pin him really, really fast. And once Kanai got the match on his side of the pegs, he was able to get that shoulder in. And activate all that side pressure. But if you keep his arm stretched out, it's really hard for him to get in there and activate that. So I'm going to be primarily a back pressure Toproll type guy.
But I see that like whenever even people pulls that way, as long as he has his pronator, even like in an open arm, he's like still defending. And like some people think that it requires a shoulder pressure to finish him. And
I won't shoulder press him, but not only is he good if he's got his pronator, he's good if he's completely under and you pull his wrist down. The smart thing to do is you can get him rolled over. If you can get him hooked in like this, that drops his wrist down. if his wrist is down, he can't get that shoulder underneath there. If he flops his hand and allows his wrist to come in, he can now dig that arm out. So, yeah, I don't want him getting that shoulder in at all. I want him uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
At least for match one, because I've never met him. I never shook his hand, never talked to him.
But do you think that like you say that even here like this, like even the arm is like this, Todd, the pronator is not something that only works here. Unless it is like totally turned. Even here you have that is still pronator holding that to not to turn more, you know. So what I'm just saying, some people top rollers we have the pronator here, but some people they may have their pronator like even in this position. Like it looks like it is like turned, but it still reacts from here to stop you. Because if it turns here totally, you lose. So what I'm just saying, if we don't put the pressure, I saw John beating him in 2005 Japan, but he had the like full wrist, everything.
Yeah.
He took everything. He didn't miss here. So every time John missed, Kanai is here. Even John won. John was struggling and sometimes finishing him with the shoulder pressure. Yeah, I think it will be interesting. I think that the stretching him may also cause you to missing his pronator as well because your wrist is not, my opinion, not like that full control like this. You're using your wrist usually when you hook with a little bit, you know, forward hooking, you know. Yeah, we will see. We will see. But I think it's gonna be a great match. Just 1 second. Let me put here. What's this? 1 second. Charger. Yeah. I mean, if he can stop you, we don't know where he is. Do you think it is possible someone to be away from arm wrestling for many years and come back at his best? Like some people believe it's not possible, but I believe that if the person is experienced, knowledgeable enough, he can make a strong comeback. Jerry was away from arm wrestling since the WL. He just came and beat Gennady. Ongarbe was away for many years. He just came with John, Michael Todd, and Irakli in a row, you know. So do you think that Kanai may bring his best shape or something near?
I'm expecting it. I'm prepared. I think it's possible. I think if I was away for 6 years and took a year to come back, I think I would be there. The one thing that shocks most of these people when they come back, like people who've taken a lot of time off, is arm wrestling itself has come up some. So everybody now is better than they were 6 years ago. Also, East versus West is a unique event. I mean, it's a very big, very popular. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot more pressure on him because A, he's coming back after 6 years. B, he's coming to East versus West for the first time. So he's got to deal with all of that. And I'm quite comfortable with all that stuff. You know, I know where the food is. I know how the hotel works. I know how to get everything. So to me, this is just another day at the office, you know. The fact that he's pulling me right off the bat out of 6 years. I mean, first I go, I don't know if I'm honored or insulted. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm keeping it a little above.
No. Listen, Kanai is a legendary puller. Like a lot of people, like if Arsene Lilia would make a comeback and just say that, Engin, I want to pull a title match. Maybe not the title match, but somewhere near, I would give him that because that is I also feel it's the same for Kanai. It is not like and just remember Kanai. I reached him out 3 times in last 2 years, and not directly, but through someone. And he said that he has a lower back injury and is done with arm wrestling. But I never stopped because I ask again. Things may change. And then finally, he just sent me someone. He wrote me. He said, Kanai wants to pull. I said, and he said he wants to pull against Devon. And I said, like, Devon maybe high starts. Not that because he's stronger than you or less or something, but he's just like second in the super heavyweight category, ranked second after Devon. Levan, sorry. And I said he also has a match with Petrenko. And Now, after I tell you this, you will understand it's an honor, you know. I said, like, do you want to pull someone else? He said, no, I want to pull Devon. But you need to wait for the next year because he has Petrenko match. He said, okay, I'm gonna wait. So he wanted to pull Best, and I offered him a few names. He didn't accept. But whenever I said Hutchings, he said, let's go.
Oh, okay. I
Okay.
knew he'd ask for Devin first. I didn't know he went through the rest of the list. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's an
yeah,
honor
yeah.
for me, you know, because I like
I
him.
mean, it's honor for him too to pull against you. I mean, you guys are great guys. So I just think that like arm wrestling came to a point that it has never been before. And I just like it is not easy to raise a Takashings or Kanai. When I say raise, like someone to come to that level is not that easy. That is why I have known some people like at that level but quit arm wrestling. And I'm just calling them to make sure that hey, this is our time now. Come back, you know,
Yep.
just join the party. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it will be even better, Todd, with the Robert Baxter's involvement. Is like I'm good about arm wrestling related things, but about the business, I'm not a businessman. And if you want to bring it to the next level, I was expecting some other type of organizations, owners to reach out to us, but I think that Robert is the best person possible because he's a businessman. He loves arm wrestling. He himself arm wrestler, and he's such a wonderful person. I don't know what is your experience with him, but it's I think that you think the same way because you reached me out and you said that like right person or something. You told me, I think, yeah, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Good. The only choice and the right person. So, yeah.
What's
Yeah.
that?
He's great.
Only person?
Yeah. He's the only person you could have picked for this. He's perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he would never do any wrong to anyone.
No.
Yeah. And as you know that I never did wrong to any of you guys, and I'm sure you would witness that. And
I tell everybody I can. I've never been in a better league or had a better boss than I do right now.
no boss. There's no boss, but yeah. But I'm telling you, Robert will be the same exact as caring about the athletes, and he will do much better job about the business. And we will see. We will see. So, how do you see your chances against Kanae? You like your chances?
Yeah, I like my chances. It's odd, you know, because you only see so much from the video. Um, I think we'll slip. I think we'll slip pretty easily. I like the straps. I like the fact that I probably have more reach than he does. His absolute brute power. Um, I'm fully respecting, but you know, I've pulled super strong people before. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I just think there's just a lot of things um in my favor. Now, a year from now, I think my chances are. I mean, if he stays in East versus West for a year, my chances a year from now are less than they are in 2 weeks. So I think this is my best chance against him is when he's fresh off the couch coming in.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you cannot beat him 1 year later. Still, you both will have your own chances.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah. But you are saying that right now you have the edge because of he's just joining us.
I think so. I think, yeah. Arm wrestling. I mean, there's been enough guys that have been gone and have come back, and you probably talked to them. Arm wrestling's better than what it was 5 years ago. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Do you agree that every time you guys come, like you all train all the time, you just 3 months train and just pull one super match. But like do you think that every time you and your opponents and all the other guys that are pulling, they get rested and they had a war there, that is something adding to you guys that experience at the table, like I kind of feel like for example Samusha, every time he has those wars, next time I think he's coming stronger because of feeling that pressure all the time. You know, I kind of feel that your war against Ongarbev, yes, I mean you won 3-0, but like you had the control, you were not in the risk of losing, but still the finishing wasn't that easy. And the same, you had some tough matches with Stago. you had a match with Tadikian, and I kind of believe that this competition level is making you guys stronger. Do you think that this is the reason, or to be part of a league that constantly like arranges matches?
Well, it's two. The fact that there's no down season forces you to stay. What it does is it forces you to be able to adjust your time, your training, so that you could be at your best every 3 or 4 months. So we get a lot smarter in our training. The actual struggle, the tough matches do benefit us physically, to do that super hard workout. But more often than not, the mental benefits way there, because you're in a high pressure situation against a world class opponent, and you're forced to think, adapt, try something, try to dig it out. So yeah, I mean, I've got way more experience with the referees than he's going to have. How that's going to go down, how the matches are going to start, the getting mic'd up, putting the camera on, all that stuff. So, but yeah, just to be honest, being 12 weeks away from a competition year round forces you to constantly be in competition mode.
Yeah, yeah. And also different opponents, and they all have different abilities, and you are getting more experience, like your preparation to do Dadikan, your preparation to Ongarbev and other guys, all different type of preparation. So you are becoming more skilled. This is what I believe. I mean, you have pulled many great guys, but like constantly the opponents that you are pulling, like really like very high level. Like you will be after this match, we don't know who will be your opponent. We will decide, but maybe Irakli for the 95 kilo world title match, or Tautiev if he beats him. And there is still Rustam Babev. There is an unfinished business.
Yeah, another vengeance East First West.
Listen, would you want that match?
Yeah, absolutely. Although it kind of scares me because I think I've lost to him like 5 times. So I do want it, but it's like,
you
oh
lost him
man.
twice, right? Twice. I think you lost
Once in
him one
Zloty.
time, 2005 Zloty in the super match. Not no more. I think 2 matches.
Zloty, and then the time in Russia. Was that the only 2 times?
Oh, you also beat him Russia? I thought that he beat you in a super match in Zloty, sir.
My very first Zloty,
2005. 2005. Yeah.
And then we pulled a super match in Russia and he beat me. I think it was a PAL event in Russia, and he beat me worse. I can't think of. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look. But no, I would like to pull all the 95 guys for sure.
So. Yeah. All the 95, and hopefully also be back to 105.
Yeah, and all the
because
105
you
guys.
Are one of those guys right at the middle, 100 kilo range you are, and I think you can make both weight categories. And
I'll pull the 95 guys at King of the Table, and I'll pull the 105 guys at East First West.
Why is that?
It just makes it cleaner that way.
Nah, you gotta pull wherever like you are needed. Yeah, we will offer you. And I think you and Devon should pull as well. I kind of think that will be a very, very good match. Very. I think you have, compared to WL time, I think you have better, stronger pronator. And do you think that his humerus was this way? Like, do you think that the way he pulled at the WL would be considered at the East versus West a foul? Like, do you think that his humerus was parallel or a little bit down angle?
It might be. I don't fear that King's move myself. So I would, I don't. If he wants the King's move,
it makes difference. Like, because like if it's parallel, if you any like 2 centimeters more you go down, 2 centimeters your hand gets higher. So it is coming to the pin pad but how do you see? Do you think that your chance would be better than last time?
I think I am definitely better than I was in the WAL. I am better at this 250, this 210, 215 weight I am now than the 230 I was at the WAL. Devin's also better. I just half the world had our hopes on Devin beating Levon, and when he left that weight class, he kind of let the world down. I mean, I'm surprised you let him leave that weight class, because like half the world is saying, Devin, you gotta, haven't you seen the Rocky movies? You gotta stay up there and beat that guy.
But why is that? Why is that? You guys don't want to pull against him?
I want to pull against him, but the world wants him to be super heavyweight champion.
I understand, but I mean, he tried, it didn't work, and then hopefully he will try again, whenever he's ready. But like, he was usually like 120 kilo, like he's around like 265 pulling against super heavyweight, while like 12 pounds lower is another cut. I think he can make, like when he pulled Levan, he could make the same shape, almost same shape. He could make 115, 253, and then he would still weigh about 265 the next day in the evening. So I mean, but the guy just, I think that he's light for super heavy, but still he did very well against Levan in the round one.
He did very good. I thought if he would have pulled Levon like I think he could Hermes Levon better than Hermes pulled Levon. So I think Devin's chances against Levon are way better than what it looks like, because Hermes looked really good against Levon. Devin could do what Hermes did way better. Longer arm, far bigger hand, good endurance. I think if Devin pulls Levon again and pulls him more in an Hermes style, I think that would go way, way better for Devin.
I think Hermes's arm is stronger than Devin's.
It might be, but I just like that concentrating on the hand, concentrating on that, keeping that knuckle up, being really aggressive in center, not trying to catch Levon down here and wear him out. But we'll see. You got to make him go back up, boss. Tell him, say, no more messing around in the little class.
Todd, whenever I started organizing East versus West, a lot of people who's supposed to know about arm wrestling, they said, you are organizing way too many matches. Soon we will be out of matches. And it didn't work that way. I mean, if you keep arm wrestling around 5-6 guys and circle all the time, then of course. But whenever you add new champions, new guys, since the mothers are giving birth to the kids every day, so that small understanding is now gone. So I'm just saying that we will have a lot of matches, and then we will also make sure that there will be more women, more lighter categories. And what do you think about this card? Do you think that it's one of the best cards?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as knowledgeable about all of them, but yeah, this is definitely a premier card for sure. Well, I would hope so, because I think I got knocked all the way into the first press conference. So there's like 8 matches better than me now. So there's been every time I lose, I move down the table a little bit more. Now I'm completely off. So.
That is not because of you losing or something. It is like sometimes there are like the level of the event is going up. Right now in this event we will have 9 world title matches, 9 of them. Yep. And I mean, the truth is that every time like the time passes, the world title matches are more meaningful than the previous ones, because it's getting harder, because like right now is the most recent best guy, and the things are getting harder and harder, and we have 9 of them in this upcoming event. And even the non-world title matches, like our Laletin versus Dizarano, you versus Kanai, Michael versus Gennady, Irina Gladkaya versus Brigitta Ivanfi, both are world champions. And then Oğuzhan Koçak world champion, his opponent Nugo is the one that pulled against Rabijin Jr. In the last event. So trust me, it is just like there are super talented guys, and the world just need to know who they are, and we will make sure that they will get to know. So, which is your favorite match? Which one is that?
Certainly Devin and Oleg.
Okay, but just let's leave it to the end.
Okay.
Let's leave it to the end, and so we start. Let's start with. Do you know Irina Glatkaya and Brigitta Ivanfi? Brigitta is from Hungary, and Irina Glatkaya is from Russia.
I've seen Arena pull a few times. I have a hard time with I thoroughly misjudge female arm wrestlers. So I just don't I can't there's not enough consistency there for me to make a valid judgment, you know.
Are you an arm wrestling fan outside of you being an arm wrestler? Like, do you watch videos other than your own? Like, do you spend time, or you are mostly because some of the arm wrestlers crazy. They know about everything. Some of them are just focused on their own way.
Yeah.
Like they know arm wrestling, but they don't really. They are not really crazy about what's going on every day.
Yeah. I don't not only I don't watch the videos that I'm in. Not only do I not want I don't watch the videos I make and post. I'll film a video and post it and I haven't even seen it. You know?
Okay.
But no, I don't watch. The only time I watch my own matches is if it's against an opponent I'm pulling again. So since I've never pulled Yoshi,
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of my own competition matches, but I've watched a lot of Yoshi matches. I've gotten
Just
to
to
the point
analyze
where,
your opponents.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I've even emailed people and said, look, I can't find a lot of Yoshi matches because a lot of them have Japanese titles and stuff. So I've had other people send me videos of Yoshi. So I watched a lot of Yoshi's matches and I watched those over and over and over again. But other than that, like I won't watch an Oleg match or Petrenko match until I have a match with him. So I haven't watched any of his matches.
Okay, so you are just saying that I'm only focused on my business. I need to do the job very well and let me not blur my mind with other things. Just focus, concentrate on one target. Yeah.
I'm trying to be a good employee. I'm not trying to be your press officer.
Okay. So then you probably will not know about this Azat versus Daniel, 70 kilo WAP champion of this year and 75 kilo. Okay. How about Nugo versus Oguzhan Koçak? Do you know Oguzhan Koçak? The
I
Turkish guy that was 100 kilo world champion, and then he, like last 2 years he's not active, and he's pulling against the guy who beat Rabijans.
Yeah, wasn't John supposed to pull him at King of the Table?
Yeah, but John said that he didn't recover after the Leonidas match.
Okay. I didn't watch. I only watched match 1 of Nugo versus RVJ, and that's only because somebody said Nugo mentioned my name at the end. So I said so.
Oh, he did.
Then I was good. So someone brought the tape to practice and showed that I watched round 1 because I was curious about RVJ's shape, when he was at King of the Table. So,
but his opponent, the Turkish guy, you don't know much about.
I might know him if I saw him, and I don't since. On my phone, I can't look at the card, so I can't remember his face.
Okay. Artur Makarov versus Ömer Kozakoğlu. Probably you don't know them either. Ömer is the current 80 kilo WAF champion. Artur is our East versus West 77 kilo world champion.
Yeah. I know him. I vote for him. I like him.
Okay. Yeah, until we go to the more familiar matches to you. Yeah, Dimitrina Petrova versus Carolina Peterson. Dimitrina is the one that pulled against Ayane from Japan.
Yeah, I know both of those girls. I think Dimitrina is stronger and maybe a more accomplished arm wrestler, but I think Carolina beats her.
So you are saying she's gonna topple her and beat her?
I think Carolina will figure out how to win that match, even though I think Dimitrina. I think Dimitrina's favored and Carolina wins. How about
Okay.
that?
How about this American guys versus Japanese guy?
Um, well, you got to watch the Japanese versus Americans because they sometimes go early, and then it takes like years for America to jump into that, and then it goes America's way at the end. So, especially when Japan and
Oh,
Germany are on the same side. So, but I like the American guy
okay.
in that match.
Okay.
If it
And
was in
Olexok versus
Hawaii, the Japanese guy would have an advantage. So,
okay. And Olexok versus Betkili Oniani. Do you remember Betkili?
mm-hmm.
Betkili in the last event, I think he beat Artem Taino in Istanbul for the left arm world
Yeah.
title, 95 kilo. The guy with the beard and very calm
Yep.
looking. Yeah. And he's
I
gonna
think
pull.
Bet Killy has a very good chance, but I don't bet against Oleg Zolt. So
It's because you like him or you think he's stronger?
a little from A, a little from B. So
Okay.
I don't, my predictions are not based on science. A lot of them are based on who I want to win or my friends. So,
Okay. Like whenever it's about your match, you do all kind of calculation. And
yeah,
whenever it's
my
not your
matches are
match,
based. Yeah,
yeah. And then whenever it's not your match, it's like, sorry, I cannot tire my mind. I just want this guy to win.
exactly. If I'm not the favorite in my match, I will tell you, and I'll have a pretty good odds of where my odds are.
Yeah, I will try not to set you in a match that you don't believe that you have chance. Okay, but this one is very interesting. I am sure that like you will be interested. I think Reno versus Sago
I think Sago wins that easily.
easily. They both go shoulder press, and Sago
I,
reaching is stronger.
I think Sago wins that easily. Yeah, Sago's press is phenomenal.
And right now he is even one category heavier than the time that you guys pull against each other.
Yeah, I don't
150.
know if the weight classes make that much. One weight class up probably doesn't affect stuff too, unless he had to cut a lot of weight to
Yeah,
pull
yeah,
me.
he had to. He said he can't lose weight anymore. So his body
Yeah,
wants to be 253.
yeah. So in that case, also, um, I pulled Sagoff in his very first East First West, so he
Yeah.
had to get used to all that stuff. He's pulled in East First West level events a while now, so he's gonna be. I think Sagoff wins, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins every single one of them.
Were you surprised that when he held Chance Show very low and hook him and beat him? Like whenever you try to go inside, you try to control a Chance pronator. Usually you have hard time. Like people usually beat him from his hand.
Yeah,
And did you see that match or no?
I did, and
Yeah.
I can't do that to Chance.
Mm,
No, I'm
yeah.
impressed with Sagoff. I think I think he's in the top of his weight classes here
Okay,
here.
another
So
question to you. Since you think that Sago is gonna win, just say that if Sago really wins as you think, and then if he pulls Devon in 115, his pulling style, he can also pull the same effectively without wrist as well. Do you think that he has any chance against Devon's open arm top roll?
I don't think anybody's going to press Devin.
But Gennady, some kind of like it is. That's why Devon had to come in.
Yeah, and I think if Devin pulls Gennady again, if Gennady tries to press, Devin will hook him right in and take care of him. I don't think anybody's going to press Devin and beat him. I think
Mm.
even Levon. I don't even know if Levon would come across the table like that. Levon was good going sideways towards the peg, not crossing the center time. I don't. Sagoff is good. I really like him. He's got all the advantages in this match. But he needs to develop an outside move if he's pulling Devin.
I don't think that someone who is only going inside can suddenly became a great outside puller, you know. But I
It
talked with
might take
Devon.
15
Devon
years.
said that, but Devon said that in 15 years, Devon will not be competitive anymore, I believe. But when I asked Devon like about Jerry, Devon said he cannot beat Jerry with outside. He said that he has to, you know, also do the same way, you know.
Well, he
But
stops. Yeah, he stops Jerry's hand right at center, you
yeah,
know, and prevents Jerry from getting that shot. See, this is what I was talking about with Yoshi. When people fold Yoshi's hand over, he's able to get that wrist comes up. He's able to get that
mm-hmm,
shoulder and impress it. When
mm-hmm.
Devin pulls Jerry, Jerry tries to get that shoulder, and Devin's just got that hand, and he prevents that shoulder from ever engaging. The way which is also how Devin stops Michael Todd's top roll, is he stops it right there at top dead center, which is
How about if Devon goes that open arm top roll against Jerry?
then I think Jerry wins.
Okay, that is why I said that. Yeah. So if
Yeah,
Devon applies his
I
own,
think a press beats a top roll. I think a press beats a top roll more often than not. An inside move beats a press, and Devin's got a deadly inside move, and he's tall enough to hit it off
mm-hmm,
center to almost look like he's flat wristed. But what he's really doing
mm-hmm,
is he's stopping the guy from pressing. So
yeah. Okay, what do you think about David Samuka? Do you follow his matches when you are at the event?
David Samushia.
Yeah, he won 9 world title
Yeah,
matches in a row.
I think David Samushia wins every match for the next 5 years. I think he becomes the East versus West's best legend. I think he goes whatever. I think he ends up with like a 50-0 record or something. I do
But
not think that guy can get beat.
okay, just think that way. If this guy, usually this guy is around 90 kilo, he loses 5 kilo to make 85. Just instead of losing 5 kilo, if he gains like 5 kilo and just becomes a really solid 95, do you think that he would have chances against you, or he better stay in the, because he says that he wants right now, he won 9 world title matches, so 3 permanent belts. And then he wants to win 3 more, and he wants to have 4 permanent belts, and then want to go up and pull against Pauline first, and then he wants to probably stay there. Do you think that because of his structure, you know, he doesn't have chance, or he may have chance if he gets bigger?
He has a chance. What he's going to have to contend with is I don't think the weight in the different classes is so important. But when he starts pulling taller people are
Mm-hmm.
going to be able to get farther out on his hand, put some more leverage into it. So he'll be as strong, except that he's going to give up a little bit leverage and he's going to
Mm-hmm.
feel it. So he'll do fine. The little guys can jump up in weight classes a lot. A lot of them do over time, anyways. At his current weight
Mm-hmm.
class, I don't know if anybody beats him. One weight class up, I think he's a top 2 or 3 person. I think you should just give him a match in the super
You mean
heavyweight and
he's in
test him.
95? 95 is top 2,
You
3?
put him in the
Listen,
95, and I
there
think
is Rustam Babaev there. There is Irakli there. There is probably you will be there. Do you think that he can make top 3 when you guys are present there?
I think he's as good as all 3 of us. Yep.
Yeah, Irakli is probably his hardest.
I think Irakli would be his hardest, and considering I've never beat Rustam, I think
Mhm.
Samusha has a better chance against Rustam than he does Irakli.
Mm. Okay, there is one guy says, just old joke. We need more cooking video from Godzilla.
When I
What
get to
are
the
you cooking?
95 kilogram class, you'll see a lot of hooking videos.
Why is that? Because you will be more careful
Because I
about
won't
what you are eating?
Yeah, because I won't be so short in the class. I don't know. You'll probably see a hook video with Todzilla on November 2. So tell them to buy their Core Sports pay-per-view.
Yeah. And so you are saying I'm not gonna even ask you the match because you said nobody can beat Samusha. Okay. Vitaly Laletin versus Georgi Dizaronov. After this, we have only 4 matches left. Do you know Dizaronov? Did you see him against Revaz?
I know him. I know him well. I would think I think Vitali has untapped potential. I just don't think he performs as good as he could. I think Georgie wins, and I think Georgie wins convincingly.
Oh, Georgi Dzhanov is gonna beat Vitaly Laletin. That's what you are saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I
I
think
think
that the
Vitali
reason that
should, but I would. Vitali does not arm wrestle as good as he
he
should,
could.
considering how big he is. And I don't know why. And I'm not criticizing him. I'm just saying you've got all the tools. You just don't. I think Vitali should be in the top two of the super heavyweights. So I think Yorgi beats Vitali.
Wow, wow, Dzhanov is gonna beat, and you said pretty convincingly. That's interesting. Okay, now your featured category: Georgi Tautiev versus Irakli Zirakashvili. Do you know who Tautiev is?
A little bit. But
Okay,
I'm going
I
with
will give you some
Irakli.
information. Like he many times beat Hajimraz Zolev,
Okay.
and he won the Russian AMC event in '95. But one before he was in 105 kilo, and he had a final with Sago. One match, he Toproll him, and Sago still pressed him till here, and he lifted, and he won the match. But in the final, Sago beat him twice with the shoulder pressure, and but he was not far from
Yeah.
there. So, and then when the only, like I can say that it's very hard to hook Tautiev, but people who beats him usually beats with outside. The same with the Irakli. Irakli almost impossible to hook, but people sometimes beat him. Ongarve beat him. Even you, when you do side pressure at the end, he lost his wrist. Some.
Yeah.
And yeah, so how do you see this? And just one more thing, that Tautiev is 2 meters tall, like almost as tall as Alex Kurdeche and Vitaly Laletin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm still going with Irakli. That's all impressive. I think Irakli's built a nest in that weight class, and I think it's going to be hard to pry him out of there. So I think Irakli wins, but I don't know whether it's convincing or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Michael Todd versus Gennady Kvikvina. This is my favorite match. Like if
Yeah.
somebody asks me, there are 14 matches hanging, which one do you want to see? You only have one to choose. And I will just say, this is the match I will choose.
Yeah, this is the one we talk about this match more than all the other ones because I go to practice 3 times a week, and this match comes up more than any other one. And this is in America, so we all want Michael Todd to win, but then their last match, Michael Todd's King's move was just not effective. Gennady was very comfortable with it, wasn't worried about it. And Michael Todd in Florida just King's moved Camille right off the bat, which was probably the right move for Camille, but Michael Todd needs a completely different attack against Gennady than the last time they pulled. I just don't think if Michael Todd doesn't completely change, let's see. If Michael Todd doesn't Toproll and tries to King's move or press, Gennady's gonna win.
But
So
why do you think that it's not gonna work this time? Sometimes you may do the same thing, but stronger.
they're
Like
both
if
stronger.
he had the, but Gennady yesterday said that because Gennady tore his bicep, and he has been, this is his first match after in last 1.5 years, while Michael had 3 matches, Lamparelli, Lars, and then Kamil, and this is his coming back match. And we asked yesterday to Gennady said he is 85%, and he said that he is 85%, but he said that is enough for. But I don't think that when Gennady pulled against Michael first time, he was as strong as when he pulled Devon. Maybe at that time he was also 85% compared to his Devon shape. I don't know. But I kind of see that Michael bigger, stronger, mentally and physically.
I think all that's true, but I don't think Michael's problem with Gennady is strength or power. I think it's
Mm.
technique. And I never believe arm wrestlers when they tell me how strong they are or how weak they are, because all arm wrestlers lie about that. Um, If an arm wrestler says he's 85%, that means he's like 105%.
No, no, no.
They all manage
Gennady,
expectations,
no,
because
Gennady really like he had very serious injury, and then he had a surgery. The things didn't go well. He had some tingling here and many things, but he said that right now his hand is very strong, but his arm may not be there. But I don't think that Gennady, because like usually arm wrestlers don't say that. Usually arm wrestlers say that I'm in best shape of my life. I'm coming like just to intimidate the opponent, but you probably see
well,
the things differently.
let me ask you this. If you ask an arm wrestler, what is shape? So when he says I'm 85%, or an arm wrestler says I'm stronger than I've ever been, based on what does that mean? Does that mean
Probably their estimation or the weights that they are lifting. Probably like whenever I asked Arthur Makaro, I said compared to the match that you beat Mindaugas Sarasaitis for the world title, where are you now? He said 25% stronger. I was like, how is it possible? But he said he's 25% stronger, and I don't know. I don't know.
see when most like when you ask a lot of arm wrestlers, they go, I'm stronger because I used to lift 100 kilos 5 times. Now I'm lifting 100 kilos 7 times. So I'm 18% stronger. I go, it's the
That,
same weight. You didn't lift any more weight. You're not stronger. So I never know what people mean when they say there's, I mean, you tell me what your 1 rep max was then and now, and then I know exactly how much stronger you are. But being able to do the same weight more doesn't mean you're stronger. And 25% in 3 months is a lot. 25% strength increase in 2 years is a lot. You know?
listen. If you are already world level puller and world champion puller, it's very, very hard. I don't know what happened. That there may be some reasons for that. If you are not at your best in the previous match that you are saying you are 25%, just imagine that you were at your 80%, and
Yeah.
now you are at your 100% that you have achieved before, and just put 5% more. That I understand. But whenever I ask him, to Arthur, like, is it your best shape ever? He said, no, my best shape ever was when I pull against you, he told me. And so it is normal that somebody is coming back to their best shape. But still, if he beat Mindaugas Sarasaitis with 25% less power, it's mind blowing because Mindaugas is incredibly strong guy, even though he doesn't really look like. Were you surprised to see how dominant Mindaugas was against Taranenko?
That was a very, very impressive match. I'm with you. I'm not sure there's a 25% strength difference between I think you can move 4 weight classes and not find a 25% strength difference.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
So
Yeah. I
if
mean,
my strength, if I lost 15% of my strength,
yeah.
I couldn't beat Carolina Peterson. Okay. So I'm not sure how these people judge their body. So I'll be honest, I think they just lie. So,
I really don't know. Yeah, okay. So who is winning? You are saying that Gennady is winning unless Michael
I think
did some
Gennady is
kick
a
up.
is a heavy, heavy favorite unless Michael Todd shows up with some impressive Travis Bagent style top roll. And the videos he's posting of his training, I don't see him training back pressure, posting, hand control. So I mean, unless he, of course,
That is
but this might
open
be the
arm type of
ultimate.
thing.
Yeah, I don't think he doesn't need to improve his King's move. But this might be the ultimate sandbag. He might be the ultimate psychological warfare would be to make a whole series of videos of how you're not training, but put them out so that your opponent, goes, oh, he's going to do this, and then show up in Toproll. So,
Do you know how it is, Todd? You are type of person that like you don't watch other matches. You only watch like your opponent just to analyze. So you are very, very strict in your belief that how arm wrestling should be as effective as possible. And I agree with you. I have my own ideas as well. But there are some other people, they are still successful in different ways. And that is why for you to be apart like this probably doesn't make sense because you can't generate like all my statics were in a way that right after that static pressure, I could apply the maximum pressure so that I needed to keep that, that angle, the strongest elbow joint angle, But they have different strategies. Michael has a different strategy, but I think I understand you because, but like whenever you said like he's gonna do this, you like according to the Devon, you are the worst technical. This or he said that just to tease you or something. But whenever I watch you, like just because that is not the like people likes to see this, and then whenever you giving up your wrist a little, not that you are giving up because whenever you pull, automatically if the guy also has a strong back pressure, it's making you both your wrist like neutral, but now you both have the pronator and not wrist, and now you are in equal position, and now you guys are playing side pressure game where you are already, I mean, advanced compared to them. I understand that, like you probably thinking that once you neutralize your opponent's wrist, now you are like, come on, baby, let's play some side pressure game. And now my pronator is good, and I know how to sleep, and now, like, I kind of think that you, but it didn't work against Radican. Probably he had very strong wrist.
Very strong and way a lot faster, a lot more power right off go than I was expecting. My only point with Michael Todd and Gennady is I think Michael Todd's capable of winning, but he can't do the exact same thing he did last time. All right. Gennady's got good hand, good high top roll, and Michael Todd's King's move was not effective against Gennady. So I only ever see Michael Todd King's move or press. I don't think I would ever try a press against a top roller. If I had to pull a posting top roller or a high knuckle top roller, I would be high knuckle top rolling and then try to transition to something else. So if Michael Todd comes up to the table on match one and sets up like this, like Travis does, or sometimes Devin does, and starts hitting these moves, I'm putting all my money on Michael Todd. But if he comes up and tries to do this stuff, I think I think it's gonna go the way it did last time. If Michael Todd tries to press Gennady, I don't think that's gonna work.
I understand. Michael has a very good press, but not constant like Jerry's. He just hits. Yeah. It works. If it doesn't work, he just switch back to the move.
What's really impressive about Michael Todd is he can sometimes hit it and like a quarter way in decide it's not working and jump back out
again. Yeah. He does
when Jerry goes in, it's going. Jerry doesn't have any brakes.
Yeah, forever. Yeah, there is no constant pressure with Michael. It's more like a one very strong hit. Anyway, so Alijan Muradov versus Ivan Matushenko, 115 kilo left arm world title. You know both guys?
I want Matushenko to win, but I think I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Alijan.
Yeah, I think he's the David Samusha of the left hand. So.
I think even like more like dominant way. Like Samusha had many wars. In fact, this guy also had a war with Petrenko. I don't know if you remember the left arm match. But so you are saying that Alijan is the favorite?
I think so. Just go back to Samusha. I think Samusha is so good. He should have his own chair on stage that only he gets to sit in. And I think Alizan is a year away from getting his own chair.
Okay, so these two people should have their own
like a throne on stage that only they can sit in.
Okay, but it needs to be not the chair, like a really good like king seat, huh?
Yeah, with like hammers and swords and stuff sticking out of the back.
I understand. Yeah, and so let's go to the last match. Devon Larat versus Oleg Petrenko. This is a match that at 105 kilo, and looks like Devon still has 20 pounds to lose, a little bit 24 pounds to lose in the last 10 days. And he already lost near 20 pounds, and he needs to lose another 20 pounds. but he's gonna gain some weight back next day, and that to losing that weight that you're gonna gain till next day, like, does it mean that you don't lose any power? You think that time, like whenever you lose 20 pounds in last some days, and then you gain water back, and then it doesn't mean that just because you weigh the same, you don't lose anything. I'm asking your opinion, or
When,
there is something.
yeah, when I was in the WAL, I
Mhm,
would cut between 12 and 18 pounds in the last 6 days. All right. So, and I could put, and the last 24 hours, I would cut somewhere between 9 and 15 pounds. So if I
mhm,
cut 15 pounds in the sauna, I could put 17 pounds back on in the next 12 hours. And by the
mhm,
time I competed, I'd be the exact same weight.
mhm,
And I don't think it slowed me down at all. I don't think I gave up any power. I might have gave up some endurance. I don't really
mhm,
understand the whole glycogen storage stuff, but the trick to cutting the weight, most people can do. Putting the weight back on, a lot of people mess
mhm.
that up, but I think Devin probably is aware of how to properly put the weight back on. That said, I don't think the weight class from 105 to whatever he's coming from, the 20 pounds or so, I wouldn't count on that affecting him at all. I think he's going to be as good. And Devin's not really a brute power arm wrestler, anyways. He's a position hand
Mhm,
control type guy. He doesn't
mhm, mhm,
really
mhm.
smash people. He doesn't pull like Levin does or push car. Push car was the ultimate brute power puller. He just smashed into people
Yes.
and pushed them out of the
Yeah.
way. Devin's matches are
Mhm.
long and they're technical and they're positional, and you know you he's
Since
got
you
he's
think
got a
that
whole game plan that starts 24 hours before the refs say no moving. So,
since
um,
you think that he's not gonna lose power in the last period,
he might
um,
lose some, but I don't think he'll lose it where he matters. When Devin beat Michael Todd, he did it all with his hand. He stopped, and he beats Jerry Caderet with his hand. Um,
so
so
you are saying that we will see a Devon that pull against Levan, or not that much?
I'll see. I'm saying you'll see a Devin that pulled as good as he ever pulled when he used to weigh 230 pounds in the WAL. I mean, I think he'll be that strong. I think he was probably stronger in the super heavyweight class,
Hmm.
but
Okay,
he
Devon
wasn't
that
he
pull.
wasn't a super heavyweight for very long. You know, I mean, Levon didn't get up to that weight in 12 months and then become world champion. I mean, he spent years putting that weight on, so he had a big
Yeah, but
advantage.
he's younger. He's much younger, and
Uh,
somehow I don't understand at this age Devon is just totally ripped. Like
yeah,
if Devon was as bulk as Levan, he also would be probably 150 kilo or 40 kilo or something.
yeah, yeah. I wish you would have forced him to stay at super heavyweight, so Devin stayed 300 plus
He said he
pounds
said
for
he
three
said that
years.
he is exhausted. He said that he pushed himself so long that he
Yeah,
wasn't healthy anymore. Like, you remember, every time we had a podcast, he was just eating. Every
yeah.
time he's just eating, and still he is 265. He was
It's
not.
hard.
Yeah, he
It's
was not
harder
gaining
gaining
weight.
weight
Yeah.
than losing weight. You know.
Okay, so you are saying
Anyways,
that go ahead.
anyways, I think Devin's the favorite, but I think Oleg's got probably the best shot at beating him at this weight. Um, I think Oleg wins match one because Devin usually loses match one. It's usually either they get slant. It usually ends pretty quickly, and then Devin tightens up his shoulder, stops it, and turns it into that goofy little hook press, high hook, whatever that Devin move is called, and then he stretches the match way out. If Petrenko can do match one 2 or 3 times in a row, he's got a shot. But I think the betting odds on Devin are probably 60%, 70%.
Yeah, so you are saying that, like, maybe match one,
I think
like, it
Oleg
may
wins
not
match
stop.
one. I'll bet. I think Oleg's got a 99% chance of winning match one.
Mhm. And then match two probably will stop, you are saying, and then it will just slowly turn to
Yeah.
the in the favor of Devin. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
yeah, if Oleg
how
can
about you?
duplicate match 1, he wins. But yeah, and I think match 3 or 4, whatever it goes just as fast to Devin's side, because
How
when
about
Devin
you?
stops a match and gets a hold of you, he bleeds you out for a long time.
How about you? What's your chance about beating Devin? 1 knockout.
About the same as Oleg.
40%.
But different. Oleg's going to pull Devin completely different than I am. Oleg's going to attack and go after Devin. I'm going to realize Devin's probably going to control the match, and there's going to be a long match. So I would train for very, very long matches. And when he starts talking to the refs and all that stuff, I'm just going to go sit down until he's done.
Okay,
I'm going to be up there, and as soon as Devin looks at the ref, I'm just going to go sit down and take a nap, get a sandwich. I'll come back. And you can just have Anna call me when Devin's done talking, and then I'll come back and arm wrestle.
I think your advantage is right now that you, how to say, you don't need so much of your wrist. Like you, as long as you have your pronation, then you can still apply that side pressure. So taking your wrist is not like only solution. Somebody needs to also control your pronator as well. Yeah. So that is why, like if Petrenko somehow loses his wrist, I am not sure if he can apply that side pressure as effective as you apply. So that is the thing. Yeah.
He's going to certainly have to protect his hand, because Devin's hand is phenomenal, and it's large, so he gets a lot of leverage advantage off of that. But Petrenko's smart, and he beats. I mean, what he did to Angerbayev was absolutely amazing. And like you said, his left-handed match with Alizon is an eye opener. So I think
Dadekian matches also was impressive.
Yeah. It was just so. Oleg might be able to do what John Brzenk did, stay in that middleweight range and compete at heavyweight and super heavyweight. He might be one of these all-round technical masters.
I think he needs more of the hand control, and I think it's strong, but the control is something different to do adjustments with your hand.
Yeah, but that'll come because he hasn't. When was his first East First West event?
It was John Brzenk.
Yeah.
But he was just like 2-3 months training after long break. Yeah. After 3 years. Yeah.
Like all of us, he's getting better, but he might be getting better faster because he's had less time. Yeah. If anything, no matter how this match goes, when they have a rematch, Oleg's odds go up 10% in my estimation. I'll give Oleg a 10 to 15% odds bonus on their next match, just because arm wrestling Devin is a unique experience. It's like the first time you go to Las Vegas. You don't know what to expect, and it takes a while to get used to it before you can think correctly. So he's got a good shot now. He has a better shot on the rematch.
Thank you very much, Todd. Thank you very much. It was very interesting, as always. You are a smart guy, and you know how to do those breakdowns. And see you in Istanbul in 9 days, probably.
Yeah, 9 days. I'll be there. Thanks, boss.
Yeah. Take care. And you want your room at the seaside, right? Where the cars are going.
I will kick somebody out on the railroad side.